Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and the new expansion for Hearthstone, the Mean Streets of Gadgetzan is out, and that means it's time for deck rebuilds, and we're finally on to the final class of deck rebuilds. And you know, it has occurred to me, because of the new quest systems that want us to either play taunt minions or battlecry minions or demons or anything like that, all of those quests put kind of this demand on what I'm gonna do with the decks I build, which means I'm really not free to just pick the cards I want to pick, which also means it has taken considerably less time in this expansion than it did last time. I spent all day, and I have spent all day today making deck rebuilds, but each episode was 40 minutes to an hour to build a standard deck, and then I think I made a separate video for 40 minutes to an hour to make a wild deck. And here, since not that much has really changed with the new Gadgetzan cards, it's really not that big of a deal this time. And so my old deck for standard warrior is just mostly enrage cards, and that's kind of all it is. So let's just go ahead and get rid of it and start from scratch. Now I think there were a couple of decks that I made that, let's see, this is a wild, let's convert it to standard to start with. I think I may have accidentally updated some of my decks instead of deleting them and resetting them, which might affect my Hearthstone deck tracker app a little bit. So we want to definitely play all these guys, and I guess I could put some taunt creatures, although that's not really what I was thinking. I guess I can make a taunt deck to build up the quest to play 20 taunt creatures, and then I need to make an enraged deck to play 10 enraged cards. But then also, here is a Sleep with the Fishes card that really doesn't have anything to do with Murlocs, even though it has a Murloc here. It just does 3 damage to all minions, and then give a random weapon +1/+1 in your hand. So you could have weapons. I still don't feel like there are enough weapons in the game for them to be a viable strategy. But they are trying to make some headway there. They were banning some of the other weapons, so they're more average, in some weird argument to say they would start introducing new weapons, and now the new expansion has come out and they haven't introduced any new weapons. And it's not like thematically they couldn't have. They most definitely could have, but they really didn't. And I'm not super surprised. Whenever this minion deals damage, gain that much armor. That's probably a decent card by itself. So let's see, what do we want to have go on here? I didn't really see a minion that did anything, so maybe just taunt characters? Let's see. Yeah, I guess taunt is about the best you can do here. If you're trying to play any strategy at all, short of just looking at every single card and saying, is this card worth being in my field or not, in my collection? That's a taunt and enrage. And we'll take that, and that's 23. And then I'm going to have to bolster the rest of my ranks simply with these. Let's see. 0-4 taunt. Maybe I don't want him, since he doesn't have any attack. Let's see. Adjacent minions taunt. that guy. And a 3/3 with taunt for 3 mana, or a 4/3 taunt for 3 mana. Wouldn't this always be better than this unless you just wanted to play a beast? I think it is. So the hired gun practically makes this Iron Tail Grizzly useless. Summon a 0/5 minion with taunt. Taunt Enrage there. So I'd probably put him in the collection too. What else would we do? Doesn't seem like any of these other taunt cards really do anything. Like having an abomination in your collection is probably a good idea. So we'll get rid of this guy so we can have one of them. Did I not have 2 of those? We'll get rid of one of those guys then. 2. Taunt Divine Shield kind of makes sense, but not really. And if you control beast, gain taunt. There's really no synergy with taunt, is there? There's like one card in this whole collection that seems to increase your taunt creatures by +2/+2 bolster. That's pretty much it. Battlecry, if you have a minion with taunt, gain 1 durability. I guess that's something. That's not a lot. Not a lot of strategy in that build, and it's kind of consistent what we've been experiencing is these new cards only kind of work with the existing collection you already have, and because of that there's really no telling whether or not you're gonna make any successful progress as far as trying to get wins with these. I don't feel like any of the decks I've built up to this point really stand a great chance of winning. I don't feel like there's a strategy here. I don't feel like I've gone and looked at every single card and evaluated how valuable each individual card is in that particular deck. None of that really can be done as long as I'm just trying to get quests done to get gold to buy more packs. And it's become now this catch-22, I would say, of a system where of course I want gold because I don't want to spend real money on Hearthstone card packs. Of course I want to do 50 card pack openings because people like to watch that on my video on my YouTube channel, but because of those two things, that means I'm not really going to be very good. So those daily Hearthstone recordings that I release every Monday through Friday, the ones in which I talk about what's going on in my life and give very belated news in the video game industry, because I record everything so far ahead, that daily play is not going to really improve with these quests. However, the amount of time I spend on that daily play may significantly decrease, which is probably better for me anyways, because I've always felt like it takes way too long to get those quests done. And it's not really daily play, it's every 3 days. I let the quest build up, and from going forward I'm also going to have to remind myself to probably record the day before any expansion in extra to just get quests done. Either record or just play to get the quests done, because I think I did have 3 quests and the expansion just gave me these other quests on top of one, so I may have gotten screwed out of 60 gold or so just because of the new expansion, but that's fine. In exchange they're giving me 6 packs, which are worth 600 gold, so as a very nice trade-off. And buying the card packs on the first day has proven to be very profitable for me, since they had a bug in the US release and I got 17 extra packs because of it, and I feel like I got more dust because of it too.
Ready for
So
action.
we're really just trying to see how many taunt creatures
Time
we
waits
can
for
play.
no one.
And before I win, if this guy's not gonna play, I'm gonna have to just win, because this will be very boring next wise. So we do this, in return. So if he attacks here, he'll take 2 damage, then this one to this one, yeah, he'll kill him. By the way, I shouldn't hover over these things because he can see when I'm doing that. In the same way I can see what cards he's picking and looking at, even though they're face down. But, so, ideally you don't want to hover over your own cards and give him the idea that you know what you're doing. Let's see, give a random weapon in your hand +1/+1. I don't have any weapons, so this is a awful card.
What now?
Really? Alright, how about this?
Bring it on.
Here. And then this.
Job's done.
There.
Well played.
So now he's gonna have to take 7 damage or find a new way to kill me.
Blow thing up.
Interesting. Your opponent summons a random minion from their hand. This one gets summoned.
Another night on the prowl.
So here's a 0/7
No
taunt.
body, no crime.
Taunt minion now +3/+3. Might as well do it.
Rockets away.
There we go. So now we have a 5/9 for 4 mana. That's not too bad. This whole strategy isn't a terrible one. Powering up your creatures in your hand, just letting them get stronger and stronger. I mean, I could have like theoretically 7 1/1 or 2 mana cards on the 10th turn and have just been powering them up all in my hand, and then play all 7 of those characters and have a full board of really powerful creatures.
I wonder.
So I want to play this one first. I mean, yeah, it's already out of hand. 5/9 for 4 mana.
Time waits for no one.
So this one, whenever this minion deals damage, gain that much armor. So I'll hold on to this character and see which one gets powered up. 4/9, not bad. 4/9, 5/9, both 4 mana, 5 mana for it. And he's starting to run out of cards, which is an indicator of him not succeeding very well. So now play this.
I have an axe. No body, no crime.
And then end the turn because I don't want to kill this guy. Now he's a 6/11. And whenever this guy attacks, he's gonna get that much armor. I could get up to 99 armor. I really could. If I had 2 of these on the field and he was just powering up this one guy over and over again, and I was just gonna attack. I guess the challenge there would be to not do enough damage to kill this guy. I think like 30 plus another 30 armor would be more realistic than saying 99. You'd have to play both sides if you were gonna specifically get to know.
I have an axe to grind.
There we go.
Start running.
I feel bad, but I don't.
There we go. 813 for 5 mana. So I'm gonna have this super powerful thing. He's got no cards to take. He can't kill me well, after next turn if this guy's still alive. Let's see. This.
En passant. Just Gadgetzan steel.
In return. So whenever this guy does damage to anybody, I get armor. So I'm gonna get minimum here, 16 armor. That's pretty much game over. And he's looking at this new card and going, what in the world is this thing? This is way better than the other Armorsmith one. But the other Armorsmith card is pretty good too. I've seen lots of people play it and strategically. All he can do is attack and try and kill it. And every time he attacks, he's just gonna help me.
Time waits for no one.
The only thing, there's 8 armor. The only thing he can do is maybe play like execute
Snakes.
or something.
It has to be snake.
Let's see.
Go ahead,
This
blow
is
something up.
Take this.
19 armor in turn. So yeah, I could get up to 99 armor because I could just constantly attack his characters. And particularly if I had the ability to heal this guy. Which Warrior isn't very big into healing characters.
I concede.
Yeah, there's practically no way he was gonna win that one. Almost none. No chance at all. So now, the other deck we need to build is the Wild Warrior here. Let's get rid of... Well, before we do that, actually, let's go fix Taunt a little bit, because it's not the perfect thing. And we already had a Taunt deck, too. Interesting. Interesting, I'm doubling up here, but that's kind of fine too. Let's convert to wild, and then all of these were taunt creatures, and I'm not sure what else I'd want to have in here. Discover a minion with taunt. Not necessary to discover a minion with taunt if I've got them. A bunch of taunt minions anyways. Taunt here. Taunt here. Deal 3 damage to all damaged minions. Not needed. So we'll get rid of that. Give a random taunt minion +3 in your hand. Taunt with a beast. Give your random weapon in your hand +1/+1. We don't need that. For each minion you summon a 1/1 pawn with taunt. Summon a 0/5 minion with taunt. Taunt. At the end of your turn, give a random minion in your hand +2/+2. I'll keep that for sure. And I'll keep that for sure. And I'll keep that. So, if I start searching armor smith or whatever, armor, whenever a friendly minion takes damage, gain 1 armor. Throw that in there. In fact, we have enough dust. Let's craft another one since this is a classic card.
Made to fit.
And throw another one of those in there. Deal 1 damage to a minion for each armor you have. Shield slam. Alright, we'll take that. Can I craft another one? Nope. Gain 4 armor, summon event for thing. Whenever you gain armor, this minion gains attack, so I definitely want that, so I'm going to get rid of this one. And I'll craft another one of these. And let's see. Have 2 of those playing. Battlecry, gain 5 armor. Let's see. Do I want that character in my collection? If you have Cthulhu, it has at least 10 attack, gain armor. Still not really building a Cthulhu deck, and there's still a great reason for that. So that's our taunt deck with a slight change to it. Next we have the Wild Warrior that I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of. And now we need a new Wild Warrior deck for Enrage.
If you make a wild deck, you can only use it in wild games.
Yep, I am fully aware of that, and I think at this point I don't have any non-wild decks. I think I'm going straight wild because it makes sense. It makes so much more sense to play the full collection of your cards than it is to play just the limited amount that Standard says for you. And I only have 16 Enrage cards, which is crazy because you need to play 10 to beat the quest. So what do I do now? Like, let's go in crafting mode and look at all the cards. It's not even like I'm short an Enrage card. There's one Enrage card I don't own. This seems so strange. In comparison to the mechs, there's way more mech cards, and yet there's no quest to play mech cards. There's almost no Enrage cards. So I don't know. Now I guess I'm just left to my own devices. The thing I guess I need to do is I need to deal damage to myself to let's see, let's spell damage right. D-A-M-A-G-E. There we go. So Enrage, deal 1 damage to give it to attack. We need that. Deal 1 damage to the minion if it's 5, summon the slime. Take that. Deal 1 damage for each armor you have. We don't need that. Double all the damage dealt to you. We don't need that. Whirlwind will take. Armor Smith will take. Draw a card for each damage friendly character. Probably am not going to keep that since I only have 6 left. Execute cards we'll hold on to. Give a damaged minion +3/+3. We'll use that. Deal 2 damage to random enemies. Deal 1 damage to a minion and give it +2 attack. I'll take that. Deal 1 damage to all minions. You have 12 health or less. Deal 3 damage instead. I'm not sure I really want that card. Whenever a minion takes damage, gain 1 attack. Let's see what we can take out that we would prefer. It can't be an Enrage card. So if I take anything else out, it needs to be a deal damage card. I could probably deal 1 damage here. So instead of Whirlwind, let's see, Whirlwind 1 mana, deal 1 damage to everybody. Instead 3 mana, deal 1 damage to all other minions. There we go. Whenever a minion takes damage, deal 2 damage to an enemy hero. I kinda want that in there. Enrage, your weapon has +2 attack. Wow. So I'm not even gonna have a weapon, and yet I kind of need that enraged character in there. So I can't get rid of it. Destroy a damaged enemy. I'll get rid of the execute cards and take that instead. Whenever this minion deals damage, gain that much armor. I love this card, but I'm not gonna play it. Okay, can I craft another one? Yeah.
Sharp Gadgetzan steel.
So I'm gonna go put that other card in. Whenever you draw this, deal 1 damage to your minions. Nope. This. Let's see. So that's Enrage, and that really is a perfect example of not being able to choose your own deck. The quest itself says play Enrage deck cards. There's only 16 Enrage cards. To synergize with the Enrage cards, you have to pick cards that do 1 damage to your own character. That's all you can do. Literally no other options. Yes, there are several more damage characters over here that I could have used instead, and maybe with more time and more consideration I could see doing that, but your deck, if you're building an Enrage deck, is not going to be very different from that, what I just built. So I want to put in this Gadgetzan character, so I need to take something else out. I'll take this guy out and put this guy in instead. And where does that leave us as far as decks? We have a Wild Priest, a Custom Druid, and a Wild Druid. This guy we need to convert to Wild just because. And well, actually, I think at the end here, let's go back and convert everything back to standard play, because if they are playable in standard play, you might as well just play them in standard play mode, and then that works fine. As long as it says the deck works, then we'll turn everything right now is back to Wild. Eventually, this is also moving where things are in the list by some weird order I don't understand. Alright, so let's go play the Enrage deck, if we can find it. And then I think we'll be close to done. Let's see, Enrage. I need to rename Wild Priest and Wild Druid, but there really isn't a better name for them. And so we've got a Death Rattle, Taunt, Secrets, Battle Cry, Shields, Murlocs, Battle Cry, Pirates, Overload, Demons, Mechs, Taunt, Enrage, Beasts. Custom Druid probably needs to be another Beast deck, and combo cards. And the only character that got 3 was the Rogue, and the only character that got 1 was the Mage when all was said and done. So not a big deal there. I think we figured it out and was able to create something that sort of works here. But it really only leaves you room for 1, maybe 2 decks that you really want to play just on your own strategy and your own idea.
Victory or death!
If you're just if you want to save your time, if you don't want to have to struggle to do the quests to play Enrage cards or Taunt cards or anything like that, you are going to get left in this quagmire. And they could solve this really easily if they just gave me 9 more slots, or just give me an infinite number of slots to save builds. That's all it really needs to happen. Is give me a little bit more so I can have at least one for each one of the quests, and then a little bit, and then have room to make my own custom
Battle
builds.
commencing.
And there's no real way within Hearthstone system to save a deck out and export it or import it back, which is probably a good thing, because then it would just be websites where you would download the best build, and then that would just have people playing builds that they shouldn't be because they didn't think of it, and kind of cheating there, or at least getting help that other players aren't getting. Now with an enraged deck, it's almost the exact same thing as a taunt deck. There's not a ton of difference. The enemy is gonna want to try to kill them off, just because you're gonna play a lot of characters, and they're gonna get pretty strong pretty fast on the attack. The only way the chicken, by the way, ever activates its enrage ability is if you give it more health. So for it to synergize, you have to play at least
It's time for
one stat boosting card on it.
Strike.
So it's actually probably a terrible enrage card to character to have in your build. If you were gonna make a build with enraged characters, I wouldn't play the chicken. It doesn't work. 99.9% of the time, it feels like you're just gonna get it killed. Let's see. This. This.
Strike.
Then this. In the turn. So my increasing of armor while also increasing of attack is working really well. We're hitting that point where it's unlikely I could lose. But I have always been able to find a way to lose if there is one. If there's a will, there's a way. Probably because I get cocky, honestly. Probably just let my hubris be my downfall.
Mistakes were made.
Let's see. This.
Major.
This.
It's time for little blood.
Mistakes were made, they say. Let's see, they're back to 27. So if I could get something that would do
It's time for a lot of
enrage
blood.
plus 3, enrage plus 3.
Back to work.
We'll go ahead and do this one.
Who you want me killed?
11:30.
Bring it on.
In the turn. Seems like some of my friends or people who have friended me on battle.net, which they're now just calling the Blizzard friend service or whatever, are opening some gold packs, card packs, and getting gold cards. Good for them. Why I get that information is solely a cynical attempt to convince me to buy more cards by Blizzard, which, you know, I remember the good old days when Blizzard's just sold you Warcraft, or at worst sold you World of Warcraft, the subscription. Now, Overwatch, Heroes of the Storm, Blizzard, Hearthstone, Blizzard is really seeming like they try to get into your pocket as much as possible. Get those little DLCs, get that extra things. It's a different company. I think that's because their parent company has changed. They used to be an independent, and now they're owned by somebody else that's trying to increase profits at all costs.
Side effects? No. Trust me.
Let's see. this.
I have an axe to grind.
Ready to flee!
Both these cards still useless. Oh well.
Kill them all!
Strike!
Let's go ahead and kill this guy. So they're limited. Now they can't actually take down this one. Not without. So ideally, attack this one with the face, take 2 damage, then do this and this for 5 more damage to kill it. Would be the best strategy from what I can see for them. But if they do it wrong and attack with this first and this first, then the enrage ability will be up and it will do 5 damage to the face instead of 2. And if they have any of these 5 cards or 6 cards that the opponent has, well, that certainly works well for him. Let's see. It's trying to make me draw cards to kill some things. So the strategy when they try to make you draw cards is to play as many cards as possible.
Job's done.
That now if he plays that card and I draw 2 more, I'm fine. And he'll run out of cards. Like, his cards will start getting destroyed if he's not careful. And there is a strategy here to try to make the opponent run out of cards. But you can kind of always defeat the strategy if you just have Prince Malchezaar in
My
your deck.
hand is too full.
His cards are starting to get destroyed. And there's definitely other ways to do this. But he's just trying to get gang up. And because you only take 1 damage plus the number of times you run out of cards, there's a better way to explain that, I'm sure. You don't really lose. It would take 7 more draws to do 14 damage. And so, considering that, let's see, whenever friendly there, whenever minion does damage, do that. So, inner there. And damage minion there. And
battle detected.
Job's done.
Now, in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Collectible card game, when you ran out of cards, you immediately lost. And I kind of wish that was a rule in this game, too. Like, but then you also, in Yu-Gi-Oh! Played with 60 cards, at least. And not 30. But I kind of like the idea, too. It gives you a strategy to actually play, where no strategy actually exists here. Even if you're playing the Druid, there's a Druid card that will fully refill everybody's health, and you could play it right at the end when both players are out of cards. That sort of makes sense, but not enough. This one is 3, so I need another 3 character.
I have an axe to grind.
Yep, I miscounted. Well, that sucks, but fine.
Strike!
It'll take us a little bit longer to win, but we're still gonna win. I have 4 cards remaining, he has 7. So, in theory, he will do damage to me, but I've got 19 armor. I've been getting way more value out of the cards that I've been drawing. And he can't really do anything to undo that. Let's see. Next turn. 24 to 30.
Death does not scare me.
Alright. 1, 2, and 3. In the turn. I have 3 cards remaining. 2 characters that will do Wind Fury.
Almost out of cards.
And this 1, 2, 7 I need to get through. Oops. Well, he's doing a nice job here.
I'm out of cards.
So I guess if he can keep me at bay, then he does win. Let's do this,
It's time for a
and
little
this,
time for a lot of blood.
and in return.
I'm almost out of cards.
The question is, who's gonna run out of health first now? If the player can kill these 3 characters and these 3 characters, I will have nothing more I can do. And it will simply be a matter of drawing. But 24 armor plus 30 health puts me at the advantage unless they manage to keep some characters on their side. Which, if that's the case, then they might be able to take my health down. Maybe. Here, this sword has the opponent draw cards. So fatigue, take 3 cards. 3 damage.
Bend to my command. Bend to my command.
And in return,
I'm out of cards.
so this one's gonna start taking damage. And he's just gonna risk it. He's gonna take 1, then he's gonna take 2. I'm gonna take 4. I'm gonna take 5. He's gotta run the numbers correctly here, or he loses. And I don't know how it runs. Here. He takes 3. He takes 4. I take 6. I take 7. I have 26 left. Next time he plays it, if he draws, he's gonna take 5. I only need to do 1 damage to him. He's lost. 8 damage is not enough. This and this and this and this and this. I've got 0 cards left, but I've won. I think I've won. Maybe I've lost. 4, 2, 2. Oh, I have lost. Interesting. Wow, that was a very close game. Very, very close. That deserves a well played.
Well played.
Very, very long game strategy there. Very, very long game strategy. But it worked for him, so I can't say it's wrong. In the end, I played every single enraged card I got, so that works as an enraged deck. Perfectly fine. Now the only thing left on these deck rebuilds is to see how many of these can go to standard. Like standard play, these don't work. So Wild Priest has to be Wild Priest. Wild Druid has to be Wild Druid. There's a lot of wild cards being used there. Death Rattle cards. A lot of wild Death Rattle cards being played. Taunt cards. A lot of wild taunt cards being played. Let's see. Secrets. No secrets. No wild secrets being played at all. Interesting. So secrets now can go to the top of the list as a standard. Battle Cry. Only one Battle Cry card is being used, so I could switch that to a standard one easily. Shields. I could convert a shields deck to a standard play too. Murlocs. Almost certainly at least one card out. So if I just replace that one card, then that would be a standard too. So if there is some reason I find that I need to play in standard play or want to play in standard play, I guess that's something. This is all dragons and it works in standard play. Interesting. And then pirates. Almost certainly 3 cards need to be translated and replaced. And then Overload. Maybe I don't have any wild Overload cards. Nope, I don't. Because all the Overload cards are class cards, and class cards don't ever get banned. Instead, they get changed. Wild Priest definitely still needs to stay Wild Priest. Where were we now? We did Pirates. Let's double check. Pirates. Yeah, I have 3 cards that need to be replaced. And then Demons. Let's see. Only a couple of Demons that are banned cards, so I could convert that. Now, this is just gonna be solid red. Almost every single mech is a banned thing because they're all goblins versus gnomes, and all goblins versus gnomes cards are banned. So wild only for that. Taunt would only be one thing to replace, but I would rather just play wild and play the cards I picked instead of have to make changes to make Hearthstone happy. Only one card is missing here, so the conversions to a standard deck aren't gonna be that difficult. The beast deck has no wild beasts in it. Interesting. And let's see. Were we over here with the Custom Druid? Custom Druid is a standard deck anyways, so we'll stick with that. And then Combo. And Combo is a standard deck because, again, combo cards are class cards. So that leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 standard decks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 standard decks and a 12 wild decks. And somehow I got a new card. And Fiery War Axe, yes, that's what I got that for leveling up. It's an uncraftable level up gold version of card. So, it's been a long journey, definitely, and I have more to do that I will do offline. I'm gonna have to play to get Druid, Rogue, and Shaman decks, and I will open those decks in my next Hearthstone blog video, which means that you will see what cards I get in that in probably 2 to 3 months. Sorry, but that's how the Hearthstone blog videos are. I have so many and I'm so far ahead that that's really the only place I could do it. Otherwise, I'm just gonna would have to make a quick video showing the card pack openings, and I don't feel like making a 4 card pack opening video. And then of course, while I'm playing offline, I will also be getting these quests done, which will get me gold to purchase the next expansion. And almost certainly, if they continue their pattern, the next expansion will be a solo adventure. I sort of wish they would just stop with the solo adventures, but I don't think they are going to. Yeah, I would love if the next expansion was just another card pack expansion, particularly since when we look at how many cards we actually got from the mean streets of Gadgetzan, they didn't make huge changes on any of them. They gave us a significant amount of cards, and then almost every class had 3 different styles of cards to pick from that made it easier to make decks that already existed work a little bit better, but didn't really introduce too many new concepts. The increasing a card in your hand is a new concept. The summoning Jade Golems is not really a new concept because we've had cards that summon new things. And then the crazy Cabal flag, where certain neutral cards are playable in 3 of the 9 classes, is a somewhat interesting concept, but I don't know how you expand that, because in the next expansion they're almost certainly not going to just have more Cabal cards unless they do decide to keep doing that. Or maybe they'll reorganize the 3 classes so there's some other groups of Cabals that happen. I don't think so, but that might happen. But yeah, not a lot changed in this expansion. Not as much as I think the Whisper of the Old Gods. If in comparison, that expansion had this whole new idea of Cthulhu and focused very much on that, and really didn't add too much otherwise. There's this guy, Yashari, he does something crazy, and this guy, Yogg-Saron, he does something crazy, but it introduced 3 new things. In comparison, the solo adventure One Night in Karazhan barely gave us any expansions, but typically the cards that we did get were pretty nice. At least of the 3 class cards you got, you could usually find at least one of them that was worth playing. But nothing has been as crazy as the Goblins vs. Gnomes expansion, because that one was pretty wild. League of Explorers introduced more Murlocs, and before that you really couldn't do too much with Murlocs, or at least helped with the Murlocs. Grand Tournament introduced the concept of Inspire, and we don't use it as much as they probably should. It's going to be kind of a shame, because the next 2 sets that are going to get banned at the same time will be Grand Tournament and Blackrock Mountain, and that means both Inspire as a concept will completely go away unless they make more new Inspire things, and Dragons as a concept are going to be banned, because almost all the dragons are from Blackrock Mountain. Emperor Therusian, a lot of people were playing that for a while. Major Domo Executus is another card that would be missed. Nefarian, you'd be kind of missed too. A lot of people played this, the Grim Patron, and Enraged decks. Fortunately though, classic cards will always stay around. Maybe they'll get changed, but at least we know they'll stay around. So if you're still trying to figure out what you need to do with your dust, it is absolutely imperative you have a full classic collection as best as you can. 1 of each of the legendary cards like this that have the dragon, and 2 of all other cards. So that's why I'm missing very few classic cards here. It's because when I pick deck that I want to purchase and open, it usually is a classic deck. Anywho, we're running along, so that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. Make sure you subscribe so you can see when my new videos come out. They come out every Monday through Friday on a pretty standard order, so if you saw one on Monday at 5 o'clock, then that same series will probably be on Tuesday at the same time. Also, if you want to support me even further, which would be greatly appreciated, because I am a relatively new YouTuber. I've been doing it 2 years, but I don't have a lot of subscribers, and I, relatively speaking, don't have a lot of views, and I'm still trying to grow the channel and improve upon myself and do as much as I possibly can. So if you want to help support that, you can go to my main YouTube page. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. You can click that and make a donation. That would be very much appreciated. And then down below in the description box, I have links to all my social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, Steam. You can also friend me on battle.net, and that helps me with Hearthstone. So all of those links are down in the description, and again, they help you see when the newest videos are out, and they help me with those services. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening. Whoops! I wrapped up there, and unfortunately there was one more quest as I was looking over my list and double checking, which I should have done before I ended the episode. That one more quest we haven't finished. So we need to quickly make a weapons deck. There is a quest for 50 gold to play 10 weapons, which kind of doesn't even make sense because that's a lot. So when we type in the word weapon, there's 2 weapons the hunter has in wild play. We need to double check here. Like 3 weapons for the hunter. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weapons for the paladin. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 weapons for the rogue. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the shaman. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for the warrior. So we need to make a warrior deck. 4 weapons, wild. So quickly do that, and then we'll try it out. And it's not going to work very well, and if we're going to do weapons deck, we might as well include everything that increases a weapon's attack or durability in the warrior's movement too, and throw everything in. But to play this, that means you're going to have to actually play these cards, and 3 of these weapons are 5 mana cards. That's quite a lot, and that leaves just neutral cards now. Has +2 attack when the weapon is equipped. Sure. Has charge when a weapon is equipped. Sure. Gains the attack of a weapon. Sure. Remove 1 durability from your opponent's weapon. Destroy your opponent's weapon. I don't know why you'd particularly want to play the Toxic Sewer Ooze over just the Acidic Swamp Ooze. It's cheaper to play the Acidic Swamp Ooze. I guess this is a 4-3, where this is a 3-2. Weapons cost 2 less. I think we probably would like to have that in our collection. But I can't get rid of anything there like that, so I'm going to take those 2. Any creature that, or ability that just summons another weapon won't satisfy it. Given a random weapon in your hand, +1/+1. If you control another pirate, give your weapon +1/+1. I could probably get rid of that one too, because it's not going to work very well. Although it actually may work rather well, since it seems like the only characters that really affect weapons are mostly pirates, except for the Spiteful Smith. Battlecry give your weapon +1 attack. Throw that in there. Equip a random weapon. And so that's kind of the best you can do. Again, not a lot of choice happening here. Didn't really have a choice. It had to be a warrior if you wanted to even get a considerable amount of weapons as a possibility. I've never actually even seen the quest to play 10 weapons. But it is on my list that I got from the Hearthstone Wikipedia. So either at one point it was a quest or it got turned off at some point. It's worth 50 gold like all the other quests, which ideally you would want to keep the 50 gold things. Although you can trade. It's a little bit of a risky bet though, because if you trade you might get a 40 gold that would be play 30 druid cards, play 30 hunter cards, play 30 mage cards, which are the old quests that we used to have, and frankly it's not worth keeping those quests. You should trade those out. Also, playing 30 minions that cost 2 or less, or playing 20 minions that cost 5 or more, or playing 10 cards that cost 8 or more, all not really worth it. So that's one. We'll want to see if we can do 10 here. Now this guy does double damage to anything dealt to you, so if he just does this, he'll do 2 damage to my face. Other quests are play 75 Battlecry minions, play Murlocs. I think I could probably play 75 Battlecry minions easily. Let's go ahead and attack again. This is a very interesting deck I've just built because it's almost 100% dependent on the hero attacking with weapons. Win 3 games with a specific class is 50 gold. Use your hero power 30 times. Probably not worth doing that. Win 5 tavern brawls for 60 gold is not worth doing at all. If I'm just gonna be honest there, it's totally too much work on most tavern brawls. Maybe you'll get lucky and get 1 week where the tavern brawl is super easy to win, but they almost never are. They're worse than the others. Ones you always want to keep are play a friend and both earn a reward. You can, if you have a cell phone, make a secondary account if you have to get to that point. And that's what I eventually had to do, is I'd just make a secondary account and play myself via the 2 accounts to earn the rewards. Win 7 games in any mode for 100 gold. Maybe that's worth it, maybe it's not. And then watch a friend win in spectator mode. Again, the secondary account works rather well there.
Do you hear its
and
call?
both of those rewards are very useful. And that's pretty much all the strategy that you have to play to get gold, to get more cards. So this is, in some weird way, this is how you win in Hearthstone. Let's see. Do I want to kill this guy and attack the face? Or do I want to... Attacking a minion costs 1 durability. Okay. So that just makes this a 6/1. Interesting. So if I play this and upgrade it, then it would be a 7/2, and that does 14 damage. Right there, I think I might have the victory. It definitely has been a long day since I totally missed this, but that is also partially my fault because I copied and wrote down what I wanted to do from a printout and did not double check, triple check, quadruple check my work, and thus I missed the quest for playing weapons. Unlimited attacks each turn can't attack heroes. Well, I don't think that makes that very useful for me, does it? Play this.
Sail the
Play
slide.
this. Attack here. And attack here. And I think I'm gonna get victory. Come on. This does 7 damage, so as long as I can do 2 more, I win. Unless he gets his health up and his armor up, then I would need to do 3 more. And even if he summoned like 4 characters, I could still probably kill them all. But how many weapons did I really play here? I think I've won the game before I've actually played as many as I was going to. So, the hero can't attack more than once. So that's still a concern. But so I may have only played like 5 weapons, but seems like I'd be able to do that. Alright, so now we're done. That's the weapons build. As always, I have already said it, but as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to support me further, you can go to my main YouTube channel. On the right is a blue button. It says support this channel. And if you want to friend or follow me, there's a bunch of links down below in the description. Thank you for watching again. Have a good evening.